Never try to be better than someone else. Always learn from others. And never cease trying to be the best you could be. That's under your control.
Anybody can be a coach, and a good coach can coach anything.
This kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew.
The mindset of a coach can belong to anyone.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Pain is temporary.
They ask me why I teach, and I reply, where could I find such splendid company?
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 16 of the Coaching Mindset Podcast. I'm Liam O'Neill.
And I'm Gary Wallace. And this week's episode is brought to you by iDesign.
iDesign. So iDesign are a company in Oma that do all of your internet needs. So they do everything from your website to your social media. They also do a lot of things for weddings and stuff like that. So they've been great with me for the last, I would say, 5 years, and especially over the last 2 weeks for the launch of my book. They've been putting together, so Daniel, shout out to Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
They've been putting together my e-commerce store so that you can go online and buy my book at limitationismrise.com, just in case you...
No, just in case. So we'll tag along, we'll tag iDesign as well. So yeah, definitely check them out too. A local company as well too, so it's always good just to support local.
And they do know what they're doing, like they're brilliant at what they do, so I've worked with them for years. So that's mostly what I've been doing this week, getting that finalised so that it can get out. I also was at a wedding. I was an invited guest performer.
Okay.
Would be...
So some friend of yours is trying to say, hey,
I was like,
by the way, you want to do a little bit of magic?
I'm Fenton Michael here. Congratulations and all that jazz. But that's what people seem to do now. They invite me to stuff so that I'll perform. Just for future notice, if anyone wants to do that, I don't mind being invited. But just, like, I can skip the mass. No, you can just do the bit and I'll go home again.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really good day. I'm glad I did go to it because I haven't seen some of the guys for ages, but it was really good. But I performed for about an hour, walk around magic and hypnosis, and then ended up doing a load of stuff in the middle of the, like after whenever the band run up in the corner, people would come up to me and I would do a lot more.
Oh, very good.
And then again, because people didn't know I do magic, a lot of people text me and ask about it, so that's why I put a like and share. My first ever like and share competition, so...
Where's that on your...
If you go on my Prove It Guide page, there's still going to be a day, so it's the winner will be announced at 8 o'clock on Friday night, so there's still time to do that. So that's pretty much what I've been doing, so...
Cool.
Over to you, Gary. What have you been doing?
Well, I was actually up in Jordanstown this week running another workshop. So I was taking the strength and conditioning coaches for University of Ulster. Just because...
Strength and conditioning?
Yeah. But it was brilliant actually because they were starting out to focus on younger kids, getting them in. Like, they were actually working with the IFA underage ladies, their academy.
Brilliant.
And the good thing is they're trying to move away from just having them in the gym and here's your program and follow this, because they're taking them even younger now. So I was up teaching them how to move, how to make it fun, and actually the guys got a lot from it. It was actually, I love taking my workshops and offer them because you have fun too. You have fun taking them, and it's great to see enthusiastic coaches who maybe sometimes are used to writing programs and stuck in the gym, and then you turn around and go, well, actually, look at this movement here that you can call a bear crawl or happy bear, angry bear.
Yeah.
It's actually like a ready position, or you're teaching somebody how to squat and hinge, except you're just using fun terminology for kids.
Yeah.
And they'll enjoy it.
It mixes it up for people too. They don't have to go through the same boring...
Yeah.
Like I know I was in the gym the other day with Shane, and we did arm day, which, like, I've never done arm day. But we thought...
No way!
Shut up. We thought we'd try it just to see, and I've never been as bored in the gym in my life. Like, counting numbers. I was thinking, you just do 5 pull-ups, that would match all of this nonsense I've just done. Probably anyone that loves a bit of arm day and for different goals or whatever, but you can mix it up. Like, if you don't want to do it, you can mix it up. You could do chin-ups instead of arm curls just to do it. But so Gary, do you want to talk about what we're doing today and who we're with and stuff? Yeah,
so today we have Debbie from Queen Bee's Naturals. Yes, that's her name.
Yeah, that's correct. Queen Bee Naturals.
Yeah, Queen Bee Naturals. Debbie came on to speak about her story, about her journey. Actually, fantastic story. Liam and I both came away from doing the podcast. We're like, wow, she is passionate. She's 100% committed to her products, and literally products we got products out there. Look at my hands. My hands are better. But just, you know that she just puts everything into what she's doing, and really, really brilliant story, and you really enjoy this one.
And if you go online and watch it on YouTube, there's a part.
Yeah, well, that's right, Charlie the part. So
stay tuned, and thank you very much. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 16 of the Coaching Mindset Podcast. I'm Liam O'Neill.
And I'm Gary Wallace, and we're joined today by Debbie from Queen Bee Naturals. Also, you might see in the background too with Charlie, the parrot. But yeah, this is another first. This is our first podcast on the road. So first of all, thanks Debbie for inviting us along to your beautiful home. I think I said that now 4 times. So,
you're not getting rid of Gary.
No, you're not. I'm going to stay here.
He's going to sleep.
So Debbie, do you want to introduce yourself to the listeners and a wee bit on your background and what you currently do?
Yeah, so my name's Debbie, as Gary said, and I am the founder of a skincare company called Queen Bee Naturals. So we mainly specialise in products for dry and sensitive skin. So people who suffer from things like eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, for all ages, not just babies, right up into adulthood. But we also then branch off into various other products. But the ethos is always natural. It's about making sure the ingredients are pure, that there's no chemicals, there's no artificial colorants or perfumes, all those known irritants to the skin, as well as a lot of the dangers of the unknown of the chemicals then, the manufactured ingredients that go into a lot of the products. So we really specialise in that.
Brilliant. And so this is where you're at now. So, but you weren't always in the health and beauty industry at all. Like, how did your journey start, or where did your career start?
Well, I at school didn't really know what I wanted to do. Didn't have a definite career path, like I want to be a nurse or I want to be, a dog groomer or anything like that. It was very much just something to get out into the working field. So when I finished school, I just enrolled to our local college doing business and finance, because that covered a wide spectrum of career opportunities. And it was halfway through my second year of that course, my older sister was already in the bank, and she had contacted me to say that, the bank are going to be looking for staff. You should apply. It will give you good experience of, preparing a CV and an interview, etc. So I did that. And lo and behold, I actually got the job.
Ooh,
so that kind of made the decision. Then I left halfway through the second year. So I didn't actually officially finish my course. But I went into employment straight away then, and that developed into a career of 11 years, just over 11 years with bank. Progressing up into more business kind of areas towards the end, but
then see, as you're going through that, then the 11 years at the start, were you excited getting into it and stuff, and then how did that progress into what you're doing now? Or
I loved it. Made lots of really good friends. It was a real good. There was a team atmosphere about it. You had staff dues out. There was always good banter. There was good camaraderie amongst the people. But towards the end, it just didn't really have that same pleasing factor for me walking in the door. It was at a time when the government were getting involved very heavily in the banking industry, and things weren't good, and it just didn't become a nice place to be. It was kind of very down, the whole attitude of the staff, which I can understand, but it just took me down then, and it made it you weren't enjoying walking into your work anymore. And I think it's really important when you do a job 5 days a week that you need to be happy in that atmosphere, because if you're not, then it has other detrimental effects.
I think everyone should pay attention to that you don't have to work somewhere that you're not happy just because you're getting paid to be there. You can go and learn a new skill. And
it's one thing that a lot of people are afraid to do, and I can get that. It is a scary thing to think of leaving a job and security of a job and a regular income to go off on a whim or something, but as long as you plan it right and you kind of have some sort of steps in mind, then definitely it's worth.
Is that what you did then to get into the industry you're in now? Were you able to study outside of the bank time, or how did you go about it?
Well, the bank were good for me too, because they allowed me to reduce my hours while I studied. So I was able to do a couple of different diplomas. Just when I wasn't happy, the only thing that I could think of at the time that I'd love to have done was massage. I had a real interest in body massage. So I went off and I did a course in that. and anatomy and physiology. I did a diploma in that, and that, funny enough, then led into a beauty career, which was something so far off my radar. You know, it was something I never dreamed of doing. I was away doing makeup diplomas, things that I wasn't ever interested in myself, but I wanted to nearly just build myself up to have the qualifications to enable me to provide some sort of business for people, you know. And this was obviously going down this road of the beauty industry. After that, an opportunity came up in the local village here, the Moy, to rent premises. And I went over there and took that. But at the same time, I was still working in the bank. So I would be balancing hours between the bank, going into the salon during the day, during the evening time, and Saturday, obviously, all day. And it was hard work. It was pretty intense. You know, I had a young child at the time too, and a husband that worked in England. So it was full on responsibility on me. But you just had to balance it up until such times as you could let one go. And luckily for me then, I got to the point where I was able to hand in a resignation on the banking career and develop further.
I bet you that was a great day.
It was. It was actually, because it had got so strict. Actually, what really was the turning point for me was my first daughter was starting P1, and I had asked the manager for the day off to take her to school. Given the circumstances that, you know, I was here on my own, there wasn't another parent I could fall back on at the time because he was in England. And they said no. And I said, well, you'll have to give me like the morning off so I can at least walk her in. And they were like, no, I don't think we can grant that. And that was just the atmosphere at the bank at the time, that they weren't accommodating the staff the way they used to be able to. Everything was everybody was short-staffed, all the rest of it. And it was kind of that I went, you know what? I'll be there on the 1st of September walking my child into school if it kills me. And so it was August then. I handed in the resignation, worked your 8 weeks notice, and that was me.
And did you think then, growing up, we talked about you can leave your job, but did you have you had obviously that set time, but did you have that goal of being, right, by the time I come here, I'm going to go off now, I'm going to do the massage, I'm going to do whatever?
No.
Did you have that in your head? No?
No, I didn't.
No?
My whole life has been like that. I don't know whether I am blessed or cursed, but touch wood when I say this, but things just seem to work out, and I think it's maybe just having that positive attitude. I have never had a life plan. I have never gone, oh, I want to live here, or I'm going to build this house, or I'm going to have this. It is just kind of fly by the seat of your pants and just do whatever comes your way. Gut feeling, and things seem to, you know, fall into place for me, and that happens at the right time, and it progresses onto something else, and you're like, oh, right. And you're able to then look back and go, that's why that happened to me, so that this could happen to me.
I think it's passion, because you have passion for what you do. Whenever you, like you're saying, even when you say massage, like I've done massage stuff for years, and you meet a lot of masseuses that when you ask them, have you studied anatomy and physiology, they say, no, sure, what would you need to do that for? And you're going, well, because that teaches you about what you're actually doing. Yeah. So the fact that you are actually willing to go out and learn new skills and different skills so that you can, like you said, not only build a business, but you put it that you wanted to be able to give something to everyone. So when people came to you, you're able to do all of the stuff that, like as a masseuse, I've been asked all stuff like, can you do facials? Can you do this? And I'm like, I'm a guy. I wash my face with water.
But there is a lot of places out there, and I'm not running anything down, but there's a lot of places would offer day courses or, you know, an express course where you go every day for 10 days and the next thing you're running about with a certificate. My diplomas, you're right, I did the anatomy and physiology and the Swedish massage together. And then when I progressed into the Queen Bee and more into the skincare things, the holistic skincare course that I did that with the School of Natural Sciences in London, and that took me a year to complete. Now it was home study, and you had a tutor, you know, and he would be there for you with your questions, and he would give you feedback on different essays that you'd come back with. But that took me a year to complete. You know, I went on and did a herbalism one after that, and that took me another year as well, just because, again, it's a natural ingredient. There's lots of benefits of the herbs going into the skins, like calendula for helping to speed up the skin healing process. So I wanted to learn about that, but you have to be prepared to put the work in. I'm kind of, you do it all or you do nothing. You know, it's 100% or don't bother doing half a job.
I'm interested to know too, and see whenever you're making that transition from you're leaving a bank, you've got all these benefits, you've got everything. Did you have a good support network obviously there, or did you also have people saying, what are you doing? You're crazy. You're crazy.
A lot of people say I'm crazy. People say I'm crazy for years. So to a lot of that is quite fair. I am kind of, you know, I wouldn't say daredevil, but I've always kind of been the child and the adult that'll just go and do it. You know that's what life's for. You know, take the chance. If it doesn't work, pick yourself up and get on and go and do something else. I did have a good support in that, you know, financially my husband had a job, and that I know is a big concern for a lot of people when they're jumping from one job to another, or indeed to try and follow their dream path into a different career. You need to have readies, you need to have money to pay the bills at the end of the day. So I had a good support there, that my husband was there if I wasn't able to bring home the money at the end of the day. You know, there was a fall guy kind of thing. But
even with that though, you still, like, I think a lot of people don't realise that, like, you still studied, you kept your job and studied, so that you didn't just leave a job, start studying and then do that. It was hard work and it took a lot of time, but a lot of people don't do that. They think, I can't leave my job, I don't have anything to go to. Either did you, but then when you studied, you had enough. You were able to develop qualifications so that you could leave your job.
Yeah, and you have to have belief in yourself too. Yeah. You know, you have to be. You're getting these qualifications and you're doing this work, and you have to do something with that. You know, don't just, oh well, I've got them, I know I can do it, but I'm too afraid to do anything about it. Yeah. And the transition of studying, it continued. You know, even when I had my wee beauty premises over in Moy for 2 years. And the only reason that kind of, again, the path of that kind of came to an end was I fell pregnant with my second child, and I was really, really sick with her. So I moved the business back home. I built up clientele. I wasn't too far away from the Moy, 5 miles, and you know the difference. So clients could come to me, and it meant then I could balance appointments better and rest if I needed to. And that whole time I was still studying and gaining the knowledge to then develop into Queen Bee and manufacturing products.
So how did that happen? How did that transition, and how did you get to using, so whenever you did the massage and all the normal stuff, you would be using all of the oils and all that we would have, you're always taught to use at the start. So what made you make that transition to go natural?
I think I'd always been interested in it. My mum was a great follower of Jan de Vries. You know, if you had a headache at home, you wouldn't reach for the paracetamol. Mummy would be giving you litres of water. Sit down, go into a quiet room and lie down. You know, there's always an alternative way. Then when you get into the massage, it opens up that holistic door of, you know, opportunities there, that there's so many different things available to people on a holistic and a natural basis rather than pharmaceutical. It was a chance meeting with a guy I was down at the Irish Beauty Show in Dublin, and I met a guy who was selling products, and they were for pregnant women to rub on stretch marks. I recently had my second child, so I took one of these products, thought I'll take this home and see if this...
Maybe that for a biceps.
Think so,
stretch marks. You could just bath in it, you just cover it all over. But by chance, the daughter had eczema, and I used it on her eczema as well, and it worked. And
were you told to use it on the eczema, or did you just give it a go because
it was natural and it was moisturising, and I knew there was key ingredients in it that were very emollient, and you know, fundamentally eczema is layers of the skin that don't hold their own moisture. It's the top layers damage the barrier, so you have to feed it. Hence, if you go to the doctor, you're given big pump tubes of Citraban and Ultrabase and Ditrabase and told to put it on 8 times a day. This was a concentrated bar. So it did work, and it effectively, I'll always be forever grateful to that man. His name was Charles, for that, because that really launched Queen Bee Naturals for me. You know, I brought this product over from America and took a different view of marketing it. I marketed it as an eczema relief product.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And that went on for a good year, you know, and it just exploded, you know. Now, I did a lot of craft fairs. Again, you have to go out there and put the work in. I stood many a freezing month, November and December, in many National Trust properties selling this as my husband wrapped up beside me. You know, he would come to support me too. And you had to go out and you had to do that. You had to get people to see who you were and know what you were about and put yourself out there. that then progressed to, well, there was various different feedback coming from that product, that the bar was a bit troublesome to drag on the skin if the skin was sore. Also, if the skin was open or weeping, there was the risk of cross-contamination because you were effectively using the whole product to rub on the skin. And it was also, from a business point of view, on the mindset of, I'm promoting somebody else's brand, and there was limitations there to where I could go with that. Somebody else ultimately had control. I could lose. I took on the contract, franchising it for Ireland, and I later extended it for the full of Northern Ireland. I had no issues there about me not getting it again because I knew I was working really well with it, but you didn't have control. You know, things like prices, things like stock levels, you were trying to maybe place an order and if it was held up at customs, things like that I wasn't happy with. So taking that, as well as taking then the feedback, I thought, well, I can make this product slightly better, and I can also make it under my brand and be promoting my company. So hence then we went on and started trialing our own, and that took lots of different pots and lots of different handwritten recipes, and this one doesn't set right, or this one doesn't like the smell of that one, or this one's too hard. Gave them out to various different friends and family who have kids with eczema or skin conditions to get their honest feedback, because those would be the people that would tell you it's a load of crap. You need to change it, go back to the drawing board type thing.
I think even talking to you as well too, the biggest thing, even from here in this, is the passion. Yeah. Even when you talk about your products, like, that passion is going into that product. You also then have that story. You mentioned before you were using other products before on your child, and you've seen
So the first child, when I had my first daughter, she had eczema, and as a first time mummy, you go to the doctor and you do what the doctor tells you, which was steroid cream and, in my case, Citroban and Olatum for the bath. Olatum for the bath I had an issue with, because when you looked at the ingredients it was liquid paraffin, and I was a bit like, what, really?
Whoops.
And then from the steroid side of it, when she grew out of the eczema, as most children do, when she was cold or when I took her out of the bath, the particular areas that had the eczema, her skin would appear purple. And I could relate that back to the fact that those were the exact areas that I had repeatedly been using a steroid cream over the years to try and get the eczema flare-ups under control. And doctors know that, it's a known fact that overuse of the steroids will thin the skin. It's the top side effect of it. And for that reason, doctors are reluctant to give it out. They will go more for moisturisers and stuff and have that. Unfortunately, the doctors are pharmaceutical led. They're based. They can't, even if they wanted to, go down a holistic route. They can't say to somebody, with a bad shoulder, I think you should go for a deep tissue sports massage to get out those muscle tension knots. They have to send them to a physiotherapist. And, there's different avenues there that definitely in years to come, I can see the medical profession will open up more to that natural.
Well, let's open, because that's a big area, because obviously they're buying the products too from this pharmaceutical companies who are a business, who want to make money at the end of the day. And whereas I think that your products you have that number one thing, you have that passion, you have like, no, I want to help people. I want to provide a service. Yes, you're running a business at the end of the day. But you have those products that this will not only make you feel better, you'll actually, the products are natural. There's not going to be a reaction off them.
On a good point, I do get a lot of people coming to me who have been recommended by their midwife, their health visitor, their doctor.
A lot of them do it on the secret. Like I get that in my Tai Chi as well. Don't be telling anyone, but my doctor told me to come here.
Which is good, because that opens up, you can see the break there, coming between that hard, fast rule of no, it has to be a prescription cream. The benefits far outweigh. I mean, the products that you're using are nourishing the skin, they're fortifying the skin, they're making it stronger rather than the reverse effect, which is stripping it and damaging it. So it makes more sense that your skin is now, it's stronger to withhold a flare up, because there is no cure for eczema. What we're doing is we're calming the symptoms and we're keeping it under control. But childhood eczema, they usually grow out of it by about 10, usually. But then maybe exams come and they'll get a little flare up, or a driving test will come and they'll get a little flare up. And if you've repeatedly used steroid creams, the skin,
screaming creams.
The skin's you know, it's in poor condition to start with, you know.
And it does affect mental, because I know I've worked with a lot of people with eczema through the mental for stress, and then one of the ways they know that they're stressed is I'm stressed, how do you know my hands flaring up? So using that, and I've worked with people that it stresses them more that they know they're going to have to go and get the steroids, and they don't want it because they know it doesn't fully get rid of it, but and also they just don't like putting it on.
Well, there's a lot more awareness. I mean, that's going back. My eldest is 11 now, so you could say 10 years, 10 and a half years ago, it was just take the steroid cream. Whereas now I do see young mums coming to me in the same situation that I was. This is my first baby. I don't know what to put on them. But you've got that now awareness. People say I shouldn't be using the doctor's creams. Do you have something? And it's like, I do, And I'd never offer a guarantee to anybody, this is going to, clear this up overnight. Because you can't, everybody's skin's different. And there's people that have used the products and notice a difference within hours. There's people that maybe have used it a week and then they've started to see it clear up. And there is the odd one that comes back and says, look, that didn't work for me. And that's when they then have to go a wee bit further. And I would always recommend allergy testing at that stage then. Because that is what's happening when the barrier of the skin is broken down with the eczema. Things like pollen or dust mites in the house, they can get into the skin. Or a dairy allergy, for example, can kick off flare-ups. So,
even with yours being 100% natural as well, the worst that could happen is it doesn't work. Like that. That's it. If it doesn't work, nothing. Whereas the steroid stuff doesn't work, but it's still stripping your skin. So,
totally.
Again, like back to that whole doctor thing and stuff too, when people are going in with diet problems or anything and they're saying, you need to take these pills, you need to do this, but why not try and work on your nutrition? Literally work on your nutrition. What's the worst that can happen?
I think in the future there'll be big changes. It might not even be in our lifetime, but I can see in the future that that has to change, and there'll be more of these natural things.
It has to, again, like, because obviously my main passion is coaching kids and doing that, but for that sole reason of trying to teach them good habits, trying to get parents more aware of, when we run our camps, we're going to provide them with healthier snacks. We're going to get them to try these new things. We give them weekly tasks as can they go away and eat a different piece of fruit, or if you had a bit of broccoli, what could you do?
Now they do the healthy break. Our schools, they're not allowed to take chocolate and crisps. They get a treat day on Friday. When I was at school, you had your bottle of Coke and your Mars bar and your crisps, and that was your normal lunch. You had the tuck shop, and you go down with your money and just eat all day.
You probably ran and you fought and you did a cartwheel to the tuck shop, whereas kids now go to the tuck shop and they're on their phone and
the only exercises is their two thumbs.
That's a big one. Talking then, obviously we said about your passion. You have another passion here. We walked into we obviously have Charlie, but you have a few animals about the place, yes?
I do, My other passion would be animals. And if there was a career path that had have shown itself to me that took me down the road of doing something with animals, then I probably would be on that. But as I say, I don't know why, things work that way, but I haven't had the chance to do anything career-wise with animals. But I like to fill my life with fur babies and feathered friends.
Because it seems that you were saying you have your two cats in there, and it just you like helping people. You
these wee cats in the background, they're Siamese, and my eldest daughter loves cats. And last year she was gifted from somebody who didn't want the cat anymore a pedigree Siamese cat, and she was pregnant. So my
daughter, you know she was pregnant?
The breeder when the lady kind of gave it to us, we kind of went, and she goes, I think she might be a few weeks pregnant. And we went, right.
But you signed this contract and you can't take her back.
We didn't tell the husband that when we came in with another, there's one, but there could potentially be another 7 in 9 weeks' time. But so she took on that kind of passion of looking after the cats, and she bred them last year, and she took that litter out. But 2 of them in the litter were born with what's called cerebral hypoplasia, which is a part of the brain that deals with their motor skills and their balance is underdeveloped. So the vet had said, look, they know no different. They're not in any pain. They just don't have that mobility that the rest of the cats in the litter do. So look, they're clean. They can use their litter tray. They find their food. They leap. They kind of will crawl across the floor and then do a big leap to get up onto the sofa or something. So we have them in there, and you can't part with something like that. You know, people probably say, oh, you would have just put them down or, done something with them, but No, you know,
Yeah.
the children dote on them.
If they're not in pain,
they're not in pain.
affecting them,
No.
then,
They're not in pain, and I have had regular. You know, we use a really good local vet, so I have had their professional opinion on it. And they're wee dotes. Like as soon as you lift them up, they start to purr and carry on. And then we have Charlie, who's
Charlie.
a yellow.
Charlie hasn't said anything yet.
No,
Liam wants him just to fly down and land.
I'm willing him to come join
He
us.
doesn't speak to strangers. He's well taught.
Yeah.
But he's a yellow crowned Amazon, and he's a year.
Like Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Yeah, they live till they're about 50.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he may well outlive me.
Cool. Well, no bad. That's that.
Just bad timing.
And then moving on then with the Queen Bee, and again trying to help other people. Another passion is you have a new range with tattoos or the tattoo band as well too.
This really again just happened. I was getting a tattoo done on my arm, and when I went into the tattoo studio, the guy had what looked like my baby balm. It was a waxy consistency sitting on the table, and I said, "Oh, what's that?" And he said, "Oh, that's what I'm going to use to tattoo you with." And turned out it was something he mixed up shea butter and cocoa butter. Mm-hmm. And it was, instead of using what traditionally a lot of them use would be Vaseline, which is a petroleum based product, but it blocks the pores and it wouldn't be great for the skin again. So he was using this, and we just got to talking. You know, obviously when you're getting tattooed, anybody that's got tattooed, you're there for quite a while. Yeah. And this one was 4 hours. So we spent the time kind of talking, and he got to know what I did in terms of the Queen Bee, and I had already had waxy, balmy products like that for skincare. And I just came home then and started doing a bit of research into, you know, what you needed then to use it as a tattoo aftercare. You know, you needed antibacterial properties in there. We needed something to help speed up the skin healing process, because obviously the skin was damaged. It was a trauma to the skin as well, because when you're working constantly with needles, you've got bruising, you've got inflammation. So I went away and did a lot of research and got together a formula, and I went back to the same guy and asked him to trial it and see what he thought. And he was able to give me really good feedback then from his point of view, because obviously I'm not a tattoo artist. Yeah. So I don't know if that's wrecking your needles. You don't do
that in your part-time?
No.
Looking after animals, running a business, having a family. Looking after this lovely house, the whole lot.
You never know what's around the corner, but no, not yet. And he was really good. He gave me lots of advice and was able to kind of go, this is what you need, this is what you do. And it was just then design board, logos, names, getting your domains bought and things like that to protect your brand. And it's taken off, thankfully. It's been really, really popular.
That's where you caught my eye, was through Rory's place, the
State of the Arts.
Yeah. Because we were talking about this before. I've tattoos as well. And I remember the worst part of the tattoo for me was the Bepanthen after. Mm-hmm. Like, that just smelled terrible. It wasn't even, Bepanthen was the second tattoo now when I think about it. The first one was, remember hemorrhoid cream you had to use instead? Preparation H is the first stuff.
Yes.
You ever smell that stuff? You know, because it's normally for your bum. Like, so imagine having this all over your arm, up over your shoulder and everything. So that was going to be my first question. Does it smell terrible?
Yeah, no, it smells nice and clean with witch hazel and tea tree and things in it. Again, it's completely concentrated, so it's not watered down, which is the main thing with my products. When you buy a cream or a lotion or anything in a wee squeezy tub, it's got water in it, which means, first of all, you're adding preservatives then to preserve the product. Yeah. But as well, you're diluting everything else that's in it. So even if something's enriched with vitamin E oil or something, remember you've added water, so it's down, and then you've added those chemical preservatives, which counteract goodness as well. Yeah. So where possible, depending on the nature of the product we're making, we try to make them really concentrated so that you're getting full benefit of everything that's in that. And it's going really well. I think we've about 25 or 30 studios now across Ireland and UK that are selling it and stocking it and loving it. And it's great to hear the feedback from studios that have maybe had Bepanthen and cocoa butter and various different brands, and then all of a sudden going, we're not even doing that anymore. It's just the feedback we get for this product.
Can you buy this as well from you, so that people that go to tattoo studios that don't have it, so
you can buy it all online. It's all linked on the website, Queen Bee Naturals website. So Facebook page as well, they have a shop now button that takes you straight in to the...
I will link all that in the show notes as well.
Again, it's like, it comes from your story, but the other stuff was from your kid, but this story as well too, it's got a connection. It's not like you thought, oh, I'm going to try this someday, because you have a few tattoos as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have quite a few travelling up and down this arm.
Nice.
A work in progress. I call it my art arm.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you want to get the serious business side, Debbie,
and
then I turn around and do this. Yeah.
And what was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo was my daughter's name on my wrist. It was a very small one, and that was done years and years ago when she was first born. And I remember coming out of the place. It must have taken 5 minutes because she's only 3 letters in her name, and it must have taken all of 5 minutes. And I came out thinking, I'll never ever do that again. I will never be through that pain. And it did take a good 8-9 years before I went back and got anything else. And this, as I say, was I got a lovely watercolour lion done. People always say, you'd ask me, what's the meaning behind your tattoo. There's always a meaning for somebody. There's always something, even if it's just the fact that they love that image or they love that picture. But there's always a reason why you've chosen to put that on your skin. And for me, the lion was that emphasis of courage. The courage to take that step, to don't be afraid to go against the norm. Don't be afraid to, change things for the better.
And it's something that'll always remind you too, people alys ask you, what are you going to be like when you're older? And you're like, well, if it has meaning when you're older, you'll look at that and go,
well, I don't see many 80-year-old ladies running around in bikinis, so...
and they're not fair. I don't care. I don't think I'll care when I'm a badass 80-year-old. No, you just won't.
Yeah.
All of mine have meaning. I have a dragon on one side and a phoenix on the other side, and instead of getting a wee yin, my original plan was a yin yang on my chest, because I did martial arts and that's what everyone did. And then I went with the side of the body, mine got very deep. It was like the yang side of the body had the yin animal and the vice versa. So that's what mine's all mean. And then my logo comes from my tattoo on my back. I have a big griffin on my back, and that's what my logo is as well. So if they mean something, and then
you don't mind. There's a lot of people are adverse to them, and I think that times have really, really changed. In fact, I was watching, there's a lot of programs on TV like the GP Behind Closed Doors and 999 Rescue, where it's like documentary fly on the wall, and you're following these professions, be it paramedics or doctors or policemen or whatever, and they're in short sleeves and they've got tattoos. Doctors and doctor surgeries, whereas years ago that wouldn't have been allowed. You would have been told to cover those up.
But a doctor years ago would have been smoking a fag, telling you that you should smoke.
Smoking up in the maternity ward in hospitals. So it just, things are changing. Tattoos have become more popular. That's a proven statistic. They're readily available. There's umpteen studios in every town now. You've always got a tattoo studio to hand. And so, I think the essential balm then just came in at the right time as well. It's a growing market. As well as with the eczema, we're becoming more aware of the damaging side effects of pharmaceutical creams. So I think we're giving people the alternatives at the right time, to follow.
What I really like about your business, and Gary said it as well, is that you're not trying to make money. You're not just thinking like, oh, tattoos. People need stuff like you said. Like, it was something that was affecting your life, which I think is really important. If you're coming up with a business, is to think about a problem you have in your life. Think of a way of solving that. And there's always other people with that same issue. So the amount of people with tattoos that would have been like myself. I forgot completely about the preparation H. To be fair, the panther was bad enough, but the preparation H was horrible. Coming in and rubbing that on yourself and then trying to sleep with your arm out of your bed with your head tilted away from it.
Well, that's it, and I think that's why the business has grown so well. Somebody once said to me, a businessman that I had met years ago once said to me, some people, when they're obviously building up a business, they have a plan and they have their foundation level and they work up. And he says, you are still digging your foundations. And that's the way he put it to me. And he could see that I wasn't just wanting to, one night, one hit wonder or overnight success or anything like that. I wanted there for the longevity. I want to build something that gets such a good reputation that you've got your repeat customers. You've got people coming back and saying, look, that worked amazingly for me. I've recommended you. And that word of mouth, that's brilliant. Priceless. You can't buy that. You can't get that. You have to allow people to do that themselves. And I am very thankful. Facebook has been great for me. Facebook has been a fantastic marketing tool in growing my business and allowing people to put reviews up there. And I'm really grateful as well to all those customers that they've sent before and after photograph. They've taken the time to take a photograph, you know, to actually trial it and say, this is what my results were, and putting it up there. That, like, we've got straight 5-star reviews on the Facebook page. And the reviews really help sell it, because other people couldn't relate then, you know. And even not even limited to eczema, you know, people with chickenpox scarring, stretch marks, burns, psoriasis in the scalp, rubbing it into the scalp, cradle cap, amazing for things like cradle cap. And because it's certified, whenever you get products produced, manufactured, and they go through the safety assessment, which is all your regulations, they're usually only safety assessed from 3 years up.
Yeah.
If you want something that's suitable from birth, it has to go through various other tests, obviously, because the skin is so delicate on a newborn. And we did that with the baby balm, because we know there's so many. There's teething rash, dribble rash, your cradle cap, nappy rash. There's so many skin issues with young babies, especially premature babies as well. So we wanted to make sure that we could offer that on the market, and it could be something you could put in your hospital bag and use, and mummy can use it too on stretch marks and just general dry skin.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say then too. You have all these products, and they are for adults as well too. Is that right? Yeah. And
he's going to buy some.
I'm not going to lie. Even when you're talking there, my sister just had a baby boy there too, so I was like, I must look and see if he needs any
some bits and pieces.
But so you would say, I think it's something I always read right too, is it's the one organ we don't take care enough of, is your skin, especially males.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, like,
and it's the biggest organ of your body. People don't realise that it's the biggest organ of your body, and it's the one that is seen. You know, not only from you wanting to take care of it and be comfortable, but other people. It's out there on display. You know, you want you know, because as you were saying there, people with psoriasis, it can have a really detrimental effect on your mental health and your confidence, and you know, even young kids going to school there, having flare-ups. You know, it really does knock them. So it is really important to look after, and you'll be glad to hear we do man's.
Here you go.
Man's products as well.
I know you even made me thinking about, I don't have any tattoos, but if I get the band earlier on, I get the Coaching Mindset podcast along the side.
Yeah, any excuse.
So, very good. And then I suppose moving on, and what's the future hold for thing? Have you anything in the pipeline, or are you just really concentrating on what you got now?
I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I just go with the flow. Products are developed on ideas. For example, the next product is a natural deodorant, because that comes from the fact that last year a close relative of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was very aggressive, and thank God she made a full recovery, and you know, all's good at the minute. But there's always that fear of the spray-on deodorants and things with the liminin in them, and there's certain ingredients, and there's so much research out there, and there's ones that will tell you, yes, it's definitely a danger, and there's other ones that'll go, nothing's really conclusive there, you know. But why take that chance?
Yeah, it's still chemicals.
It's still chemicals. It's still, you're spraying them up into the area.
I don't wear
you just smell like you just go smell like.
Thankfully, my diet's so clean. I don't.
If you could grow your hair, you'd probably have dreadlocks too.
If I could, what are you trying to say? But I don't.
Well, you got anything for the top of the head? I'll be moisturising my hair back.
You need to watch the sunshine, sunburn.
My sister will get at me all the time because I don't wear it. Like thankfully I don't smell, but I don't. Unless you've never told me. No, I'm not gonna lie. It's like that might know exactly. But I probably would if there was a natural.
Yeah, well, we're making a men's one as well, but it's just, you know,
I'd wear these products. Like,
it's just got a wee more manly scent to it. We use essential oils as well, so nothing's ever artificial perfumed in it. But it's just the future. What does the future hold? It's just whatever happens. You know, there's products there that, as you say, are derived because they've got a backstory from them, or there's a passion there, and I want to make something that's good for this reason, not just let's make money and let's do this.
I know it. I think this is our first time obviously meeting as well too, but the passion of everything you said, and it's not
very obvious.
You know, you're running a very successful business, but you're running a very successful business from past experiences and going, right, I want to make this right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, believe in myself too. We're in the business for helping people. That's what we want to do. Yeah. My passion obviously is kids, and that's what I do. Yes, me hoping I will be successful and I want to go nationwide with it, but it's a simple reason of not to make money, guaranteed, I want to make money because I want to live my life. I want to spend more time with my son. We want to travel. I want to see the world with him.
Of course you do, but it's not the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, and that's the difference, I think. And that's why people come back to you. You know, if you weren't really good at your job and you were just doing it to get the paycheck, your business would soon fizzle out. People would soon catch on to that. Same with me. I would have no repeat customers if my products weren't doing what people expected them to do.
You're working with kids, like I work with babies as well, and because I started off doing recce and things again, so I would do a lot of grounding for kids that don't sleep or have nightmares or whatever. But you would not bring your child to someone or put something on your child if you didn't trust the person was in it for the right reason. So I think
that's not something you get overnight either.
No,
that has come from the fact that, like, we do the Balmoral every year. And I love the Balmoral. It's exhausting. You lose your voice by the end of it. You can't speak. You're not fit to stand. You're just like...
I've never actually been.
It is really good. But I think people love the fact that they get to see you. They get to see me. Most businesses, they just have reps or somebody sitting there, and that will maybe give me a limitation as to where my business can go, because I always want to be able to be contacted. I don't want to be the MD. Don't get me wrong. If I liked boats, I would cruise about New York. But I don't. I don't want to do that.
Just online as well.
I want to.
What is that?
I want people to be able to come to me and ask me a question, and I do get lots of messages on Facebook and emails and stuff looking advice or looking where to go for this or whatever. And I like the fact that I'm able, and that builds that rapport and that builds that, as you say, that trust, and that's what people are rather than just. I ask people, what skincare products do you use, or a lady, what do you use to remove your makeup at the end of the day, and she'll name the brand, and why do you use that? Is there a particular ingredient in it, or is it something that and we'll go, no, it was an offer in Boots, or that supermodel, did you see her skin? She's lovely. And you're kind of like, whoa, let's just break this down a bit. That person was a celebrity, a supermodel, or a beautiful person before they started using this product. Plus, they're put on the television under lights, makeup artists.
They're probably not even using it. Like they don't have that product. They're just.
Who are we to judge? Who are we to pass that?
But we're saying yes.
I'm just saying.
They're not using it.
But everybody's felt it. I mean, it's very hard. Everybody, it's clever marketing. But the thing is, the person that suffers is us. It's the consumer, because we're bought into that. We buy that thinking that we're going to get X, Y, and Z, and you don't. So I've always been very straight and very stern. I'll never offer a guarantee. I'll never say to somebody, this is going to do this. I'll say, look, all I can do is say, try it. It's never a wasted product, because, as you said earlier on, the worst it's going to do is do your skin good. Even if it doesn't clear the redness or clear the eczema, it's still putting moisturising vitamins and minerals and all those anti-aging properties into your skin. So
I think you kind of touched on it, but if somebody was to take the leap of faith and follow their passion and go into their own business, would there be any sort of advice that you would give them, or what would be like the 3 main points that you would say, okay, this is what you must have, or this is a good way to start?
Well, although I've already said I didn't really have a set plan, I didn't have a set plan. I didn't need a business plan as such, because I'll tell you how I finance my business. You have to finance. One of the things would be make sure you have some sort of finance. You can't just leap into something and go, oh, I'm going to go and do this, because everything takes money to build it up. You have to invest in it to get any rewards back. But how I got mine was I applied for a Tesco's loan. And I said to myself, do you ever sit at the traffic lights or you're thinking about something, I'll go to the gym tonight. If that red light turns before the end of the song, I'll go to the gym. Do you ever do that?
I always do that too.
Let's leave it to fate. And I applied for this loan on Tesco's, and I thought, if I get this loan, I'm going ahead with this business idea, and if I don't get the loan, that's it. I wasn't going to go and try anywhere else, or I wasn't going to go to my mom or somebody and go, here, lend me some money. And I left it up to that, and that's where I got it. And that's off we go.
Tesco's loans.
Very responsible lender. So I would say make sure you have a bit of finance backing. Whether that be you have to borrow a bit of money from somebody, but you can't. Nothing's possible without money. Whether you need,
but still calculated risk in a way. Like, it's not like, right, well, I'm going to randomly open up this thing, but you knew what you were. It was kind of new. This is the avenue you're going down. So you said, right, well, I need it. So finance is the first thing.
Yeah.
So I've got the idea, I've got the passion, finance, and then what would what would be your other advice if somebody was thinking, right, I've got the finance, I have this bit of passion, is there anything else that they would, main ingredient to go with?
I would probably say, honestly, is probably one that's overlooked quite a lot in business. A lot of businessmen and maybe too big and whatever. But you have to be straight. You have to be realistic with people, with yourself, with how this is going to venture out. I mean, I was honest with myself. One of the things that I had dreamed of was a shop. And when my business started to get off the ground, I thought I'd love premises. I'd love a shop. And I could kit it out in my head, you know, I knew exactly how it was going to be, and I was going to involve other holistic people and products and brands. But when I looked at that, you thought, well, there's a huge overhead, a huge responsibility, a huge tie. It would mean, you know, like I'm able to sit here with you guys, take an hour out of my day and do this, or go and walk the dogs when I'm not busy, or go and lift my kids from school, spend the time in between emails, maybe doing homework. I'm able to balance that all. Whereas to go and do a shop, as brilliant as that would be, and a great accolade for your business to see your brand up, you know, sign up there and you actually having a location. Be honest with yourself to realise that financially that's just putting an extra burden on yourself. It's going to put a burden on your business as well, because if I have bigger overheads, then my products have to go up to make my business work. So, you know, even though you might want it and think that's great, I think honesty is a great, with yourself and with your customers, with your people. Build your business honestly, and as I say, the word of mouth then from that will continue to grow. And thirdly, I don't know if I can't.
Yeah, well, no, I was just kind of throwing it out there because
you got on the pot.
No, but that was
belief in yourself is also really, really important, and don't be expecting to be on the ball. You know, I have days when you just go, what am I doing? Or you know, I couldn't be bothered. You know, you switch off.
Work days.
The accounts. But you're going to have days like that, and you're just going to have to run with them. Nothing's plain sailing. It's like everybody thinks that from the grass is green on the other side, and looking in, it looks wonderful, but it's hard work. I mean, there's nights I'd be sitting there at 10, 11 o'clock on social media. You know, you have to keep that rapport up with those people. You're balancing your kids, you said earlier on, and balancing, you know, keeping the house and keeping the animals, and it's hard work, but you know, it has its benefits. You know, I am here and I'm able to work from home, and my kids are here, and I'm doing fundamentally what I love to do.
Yes, I think that's the key word you said at the end is love. You know, you love it.
As a roundup then, I asked you, did you have any bees? And then you explained where your name came from. Do you want to let people know?
Tell people why? So Queen Bee Naturals, the name Queen Bee Naturals came from the fact that I was christened Deborah, and the Hebrew meaning of Deborah is bee, or busy bee. So as I was growing up, my mom would gift me little bee things, or a bookmark with your name means in Hebrew, and this whole thing about bee, you're always busy, you're always at things, and probably very accurate, really. So when I was thinking of a business name, that's what really came to mind, was Queen Bee Naturals.
Because I landed in the car, and Liam had the hat and all, the suit and all on to go in for beekeeping, so like beekeeping suit. So he was like, we're going to meet Queen Bee, we need the armour on. I have a question too as well. But what's your favourite product that you have, or you would use yourself, or?
Oh, honest to goodness, we use all of them. We really, really do.
Brilliant.
Everything that we make, we use. My kids' eczema is completely settled. Was years ago, but it continues. Their skin just is great, and all those purple marks have all been replenished now, and their skin is immaculate now. But the product I'm probably most proud of is the baby balm. Is the all over baby balm. You know, it was the first thing that I really put my heart and soul into trying to formulate myself. And it's the product that has cured so many, not cured, but soothed so many people's skins. You know, I get so many messages, you know, that cream, you know, helped my daughter's skin in 6 weeks, and she's been at the dermatologist for 6 years and they couldn't get it under control. It's those stories that bring that pride
Perfect.
to you. Yeah. And so I can't deny it that would be the real strong point for me.
Get it all.
Use all.
Yeah, we're going to have a conversation about maybe Nephews.
You're not going to be leaving him.
No. Maybe Nephews going to get a wee treat here. My sister will be loving this. Liam, do you have any questions to finish up with?
No, I think that was my question. I just like the story of how your name came about.
Yeah.
I miss the bees, but I like.
Yeah, no, people do think sometimes that I keep the bees. I don't actually keep the bees. I don't keep the bees.
And where's the best people or place for people to get in contact with you? Or
they can contact me via Facebook. I'm always your phone. Well, it's not at the table at the minute, but
no,
it's never
probably
far
the
away.
only hour where we don't have our phones.
It's
here,
actually just
really
in
good.
there. I'm surprised it hasn't rung. I forgot to put it on silent. But yeah, Facebook is great, as I say. It's a tool there. You can drop me a message. I'm always checking into it. Emails as well, or people phone me. You know, there was a guy yesterday had rung me because he was living over in France. He wanted to get his wife something, and he didn't want to use PayPal, which was fine. So I was just able to take the order over the phone and take payment over the phone. So.
Nice.
So cool. off it went to France.
Good. So I think that's us nearly wrapped up now. So once again, thank you very much.
No problem. You're very welcome.
Yes, it was brilliant. Actually, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you showed great passion for your product, and people just get on it. Get on it.
We'll keep the camera rolling to do the banter after.
The banter. No,
let's just try here.
Yeah.
No, I think you do the round.
So guys, again for everybody and to Debbie as well too. Thanks for listening and for Debbie sharing her story. Remember our podcast goes live every Thursday at 6:00, and again click on all the links below and you'll see more of Debbie's story and you can see her fantastic products too. But until next week, we shall hear from you or see from you then.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ciao, guys.